I will now read the Sunshine Statement. Pursuant to Section 5, Chapter 231, Public Laws of 1975, this is to state for the record that adequate notice of this meeting has been provided to the public by posting and maintaining the annual notice of the regular meeting on the bulletin board in the municipal building, and by providing a copy of the annual notice of the regular meetings for the year of 2018 to the Glen Paper, the Glen Voice, the Montclair Times, and to the Star Ledger on Wednesday, January 10th, 2018, and by filling the said notice in the office of the municipal clerk.
Councilor Smith?
Here.
Councilor Link?
Present.
Councilor Van Bloom?
Present.
Councilor Moriarty?
Here.
Councilor Landis?
Present.
And Councilor Lance?
Here.
And then Mayor Kinley?
Present.
Mayor, you have a quorum?
Yes. It sounded like one. Okay, Colin, do we have the presentation of written communications?
Yes, Mayor.
Thank you.
So, Wildwood Crest in Cape May County is hosting the first annual Crest Best Run Fest, a series of running races and walking events that will take place on Saturday, October 6th and Sunday, October 7th in our beautiful beachside community. The signature race of the event is Sunday's Crest Best 10-miler. We'd like to invite you to enter a team of municipal workers, residents, and/or elected officials to challenge our fit and fast Wildwood Crest team. The goal is to encourage as much participation, speed is not a priority, as possible in any of the events to further promote health and wellness in our communities. With that in mind, we are creating the NJ State Mayor's Cup Challenge. The cup will be given to the municipality with the most participation via running and/or volunteering, and place winners at the award ceremony after the 10-miler. Also, the County of Essex is committed to providing our residents with access to services. To achieve this goal, our Essex County Division of Training will be hosting the Essex County Job Fair. You have partnered with us in the past, and it would be an honor to have you join us in this free event. It will be held as follows. Thursday, May 24th, 2018, from 10 a.m. to 3 p.m. at Essex County College Gymnasium, 303 University Avenue, Newark, New Jersey. That concludes this correspondence.
Thank you, Clerk. I need a motion for the approval of the minutes for March 27th, 2018.
Motion for the approval of the minutes.
I need a second on that motion.
I second.
Thank you. We're going to call roll again after that.
Councilor Smith?
Yes.
Councilor Link?
Aye.
Councilor Van Bloom?
Aye.
Councilor Moriarty?
Aye.
Councilor Landis?
Aye.
Councilor Lance?
Aye.
Mayor. 6 ayes, no nays. The motion passes.
Thank you, Clerk. Now, I will, take comments of the public at this time. Okay. Seeing no further comments, there will be comments from myself, and I have a proclamation about libraries. Whereas libraries are not just about what they have for people, but what they do and with people. Whereas libraries have long served as trusted and treasured institutions, and library workers and librarians fuel efforts to better their communities, campuses, and schools. Whereas librarians are leaders in their institutions and organizations in their communities, in the nation, and in the world. Whereas librarians continue to lead the way in leveling the playing field for all who seek information and to access technology. Whereas libraries and librarians look beyond their traditional roles and provide transformative opportunities for education, employment, entrepreneurship, empowerment, and engagement. as well as new services that connect closely with our patrons' needs. Whereas libraries and librarians lead their communities in innovation, providing STEAM programming, makerspaces, and access and training for new technologies. Whereas libraries are pioneers supporting democracy and effecting social change with a commitment to providing equitable access to information for all library users regardless of race, ethnicity, creed, ability, sexual orientation, gender identity, or socioeconomic status. Whereas libraries lead in working with diverse communities, including people of color, immigrants, and people with disabilities, offering services and educational resources that transform communities, open minds, and promote inclusion and diversity. Whereas libraries, library boards, librarians, library workers, and supporters across America are celebrating National Library Week. Now, therefore, it will be resolved that I, Lily Kinley, Mayor of the Borough of Glen Ridge, and with the advice and consent of the Borough Council, do hereby proclaim it National Library Week, celebrated through April 8th to April 14th of 2018. I encourage all residents to visit the library this week and explore what's new at your library and engage with your librarian. Because of you and our library leaders, libraries transform. Thank you. With that, I will suspend the regular order of business for the 2018 municipal budget hearing.
Mayor, this is the time for the public hearing on the municipal budget for 2018. The budget was advertised as required on March 29th, 2018, together with notice of hearing for this time. Printed Printed copies have been made available to the public. A supply is here for anyone desiring a copy.
Anyone who has not secured a copy of the budget advertisement may do so now. They're on the podium if you would like to go grab them. You're welcome.
The 2018 municipal budget was introduced at the March 27th meeting of the Mayor and Council. Today, a public hearing will be held to allow residents and other interested parties to comment and express their opinion on the introduced budget. The introduced budget includes total municipal expenses of $14,294,808. This budget represents a 1.65% increase in the municipal tax rate. In addition to the regular municipal budget, the borough also operates two separate municipal utilities. These utilities are self-liquidating and are fully funded by user fees. The water utility budget totals $1,582,000 for 2018, and the swimming pool utility budget totals $455,000 for 2018. The Mayor and Council will vote on the final adoption of the 2018 municipal budget at the April 23rd meeting.
Thank you, Councilor Smith. Before opening this hearing, I wish to outline the procedure. Each person desiring to be heard will rise and give his or her name and address before speaking. I will recognize one speaker at a time in order of rising, as nearly as I can determine. Address all questions to the chair. Where necessary, they will be referred to individual members of the Borough Council, municipal officers, or our advisors. Questions may not be confined solely to the municipal budget before us, or they must be. School and county matters are not proper subjects of this hearing and cannot be discussed or answered here tonight. I now declare an open public hearing for the municipal budget of 2018. Observing no further questions from applicants on the floor, I will entertain a motion to close the hearing.
Mayor, I move that the hearing be closed.
Anyone would like to second that motion?
I second that motion.
Okay, this hearing has been closed. Clerk, roll call, please.
Councilor Smith?
Yes.
Aye.
Aye.
There you go. So close.
Councilor Link?
Aye.
Councilor Van Bloom?
Aye.
Councilor Moriarty,
Aye.
Councilor Landis,
Aye.
and Councilor Lance.
Aye.
6 ayes and 0 nays, this motion has passed.
Okay, moving on from that, will the counselor for the Finance and Administration Committee report?
The Finance and Administration Committee has two primary responsibilities. The first responsibility is overseeing the budget and making sure that the borough does not spend more money that has available through taxes and other sources of income. In the beginning of each year, the committee assists the borough administrator to create a budget. This budget sets the maximum amount of spending that each department can undertake in the fiscal year. Revenue collection and spending are monitored monthly to ensure that we stay within the budget. The second important responsibility for the committee is working with the borough administrator to manage the people who work for the borough. The committee looks at policies and standards contained in the employee handbook, reviews union contracts, and gets involved whenever there is a legal matter.
Thank you. Are there any motions, or no, is there anyone who would like to, second the motion for
I second.
okay? Will the clerk please call roll?
Councilor Smith,
Aye.
Councilor Link,
Aye.
Councilor Van Bloom,
Aye.
Councilor Moriarty,
Aye.
Councilor Landis,
Aye.
and Councilor Lance.
Aye.
6 ayes and 0 nays, this resolution is adopted.
Okay. Is there anything else?
Be it resolved that the following claims be approved and warrants to be drawn for the same. And be it resolved that the Chief Financial Officer/Treasurer of the Borough of Glen Ridge is hereby authorized to issue the payroll for the employees of the Borough of Glen Ridge for the pay date of April 15th, 2018. Mayor, I move the resolution.
You've heard the resolution, are there any seconds?
I second this motion.
Clerk, please call roll.
Councilor Smith,
Aye.
Councilor Link,
Aye.
Councilor Van Bloom,
Aye.
Councilor Moriarty,
Aye.
Councilor Landis,
Aye.
and Councilor Lance.
Aye.
6 ayes and 0 nays, this resolution is adopted.
Thank you, clerk. That concludes your committee's report, correct, Counselor? No.
Resolution number 64-18. Be it resolved that the Mayor and the Borough Council of the Borough of Glen Ridge approve the following rates for the consumption of water in the Borough of Glen Ridge, are hereby established, and said rates are to become effective April 10th, 2018, and subsequent thereto. Be it further resolved that any resolution, motion, or ordinance inconsistent with this resolution are hereby repealed. Mayor, I move the resolution.
We have a second to this.
I second.
Counselor, will you please call roll again?
Councilor Smith,
Aye.
Councilor Link,
Aye.
Councilor Van Bloom,
Aye.
Councilor Moriarty,
Aye.
Councilor Landis,
Aye.
and Councilor Lance.
Aye.
6 ayes, 0 nays, this resolution is adopted.
Thank you. Does that now conclude your committee report?
Yes.
Thank you. Counselor Link, with the Public Safety Committee report.
The monthly meeting of the Public Safety Committee was held in the Police Chief's office last Monday, April 2nd, 2018. Meetings are usually held on the first Monday of the month at 5:30 p.m. In March, the Glen Ridge Police Department investigated 2 assaults, 6 burglaries, 2 motor vehicle thefts, and 10 larcenies. There were 307 summons issued during the month. Of those, 111 were for motor vehicle moving violations, and 26 were for borough ordinance violations. The police desk received 2,763 phone calls for aid or information, and it answered 110 911 emergency calls. In addition, the volunteer ambulance squad responded to 95 emergency calls in March. Of these, 36 were for emergencies within the borough, The remainder were calls for emergency aid in surrounding towns. There were also 12 patient transport calls. The Glen Ridge Police Department is hosting our annual Drug Take-Back Day, taking back unwanted prescription drugs on Saturday, April 28th. The event will take place from 10 a.m. to 2 p.m. in the lobby of the Glen Ridge Police Department, located at 3 Herman Street. Residents are encouraged to bring any unused or unwanted pills for disposal. Only pills and patches will be accepted. Liquids, needles, and sharps cannot be accepted. The service is free and anonymous and available 24/7. Any residents who have any questions can contact Glen Ridge Police Department at 973-748-5400 or visit glenridgenj.org.
Thank you, Counselor. Is there anything else a part of your Public Safety Committee report?
No, Ms. Mayor.
You have a couple of resolutions?
I do.
Okay. Okay. You may read them at this time.
Resolution number 6518. Whereas it has been determined that there is a need to replace the phone system serving the municipal complex, and whereas Hunter Technologies of 1709 Route 34, Suite 3, Wall, New Jersey 07727 has a cooperative purchasing agreement with the State of New Jersey, Division of Purchasing Contract A80802 to provide and install Avaya phone products, and whereas the borough will enter into a 60-month purchase and managed services agreement with the vendor. Each monthly payment will be $1,312.51, or a 5-year service and total buyout for a total of $78,750.60. And whereas the Chief Finance Officer certified the availability of funds for this contract from operating and capital funds. Now, therefore, be it resolved that the Mayor and Council of the Borough of Glen Ridge, New Jersey, does not hereby approve the purchase of a new phone switch, handsets, and associated software. Ms. Mayor, I move the resolution.
Is there a second to this?
I second.
Counselor, or Clerk, would you please call roll?
Counselor Smith,
Aye.
Counselor Link,
Aye.
Counselor Van Bloom,
Aye.
Counselor Moriarty,
Aye.
Counselor Landis,
Aye.
and Counselor Lance.
Aye.
6 ayes, 0 noes. This resolution is adopted.
Thank you. Going on to your second resolution, Counselor Link.
Correct. Resolution number 6618. Be it resolved that in ordinance with NJSA 3374.1, the Mayor and Borough Council approve the raffle license application for an on-premise merchandise raffle submitted by the Meadowlands Area YMCA to be held on June 4th, 2018 at the Glen Ridge Country Club, 555 Ridgewood Avenue, Glen Ridge, New Jersey 07028, pending the approval of the background check.
You have heard the resolution. May I hear a second?
I second.
Clerk, will you please call roll?
Counselor Smith,
Aye.
Counselor Link,
Aye.
Counselor Van Bloom,
Aye.
Counselor Moriarty,
Aye.
Counselor Landis,
Aye.
and Counselor Lance.
Aye.
6 ayes, 0 noes. This resolution is adopted.
Thank you. Counselor Van Bloom, going on to Community Affairs and Public Relations Committee report.
This year's Glen Ridge Eco Fair will be held on Saturday, May 12th, 10 a.m. to 3 p.m. in conjunction with the 39th Annual Arts Festival. The Eco Fair will be located on Ridgewood Avenue near the Glen Ridge train station and will feature over 100 exhibitors, live entertainment, food and children's activities. All residents are encouraged to come learn how to live a more active, healthy, and eco-friendly lifestyle.
You have heard the resolution. That's not a resolution? My bad.
And Ms. Mayor, I'd like to
Correction,
offer
sorry.
resolution number 67-18, memorializing the borough's commitments to the goals of the Paris Climate Accord. Whereas consensus exists among the world's leading climate scientists that climate change caused by emissions of greenhouse gases from human activities is among the most significant problems facing the world today, and whereas documented impacts of climate change include by are not limited to increasing occurrences of extreme weather events and adverse impacts on ecosystems, and whereas the borough of Glen Ridge, New Jersey is committed to the future generations of its residents as demonstrated by its continuous improvements to the borough and its facilities and infrastructure, and whereas the borough of Glen Ridge acts on this commitment through achieving silver status in the Sustainable Jersey program, promoting townwide recycling, providing jitney service to encourage the use of mass transit and reduce the number of vehicle miles driven, hosting an annual eco-fair to educate residents on sustainable practices, developing a community energy aggregation program, and conducting energy audits, as well as upgrading municipal and school buildings to reduce energy use and save money, and whereas responding to climate change provides communities an opportunity to access first-mover advantages in the range of products, services, and know-how that transitioning to a climate-compatible future brings, and whereas the Paris Climate Accord, also known as the Paris Agreement, resulted in a commitment from almost every nation in the world to take action and enact programs to limit the global temperature increase to less than 2 degrees Celsius, with an expectation that this goal would be reduced to 1.5 degrees Celsius in the future. Now, therefore, be it resolved by the Mayor and the Borough Council of the Borough of Glen Ridge that the Borough of Glen Ridge, 1. Joins other U.S. citizens in the Climate Mayors Network in adopting and supporting the goals of the Paris Climate Accord, and 2. Commits to exploring policies and programs that promote the long-term goal of greenhouse gas emission reduction while maximizing economic and social co-benefits of such action for the Borough, and 3. Sign the open letter available at wearestillin.com. Be it further resolved that copies of this resolution will be forwarded to President Donald Trump, Senator Bob Menendez, Senator Cory Booker, Congressman Payne, Governor Phil Murphy, State Senator Ronald Rice, Assemblywoman Cleopatra Tucker, Assemblyman Ralph Caputo, municipalities in Essex County, and the League of Municipalities.
Thank you, Councilor Van Bloom. You've heard the resolution now. May I hear a second?
I second.
Clerk, will you please call roll?
Councilor Smith,
Aye.
Councilor Link,
Nay.
Councilor Van Bloom,
Aye.
Councilor Moriarty,
Aye.
Councilor Landis,
Aye.
and Councilor Lance.
Aye.
5 ayes and 1 no. This resolution passes.
Thank you. Will you please read your second resolution?
Resolution number 68-18. Whereas in 1872, J. Sterling Morton proposed to the Nebraska Board of Agriculture that a special day be set aside for the planting of trees, and whereas this holiday, called Arbor Day, was first observed with the planting of more than 1 million trees in Nebraska, and whereas Arbor Day is now observed throughout the nation and the world, and whereas trees can reduce the erosion of our precious topsoil by wind and water, cut heat and cooling costs, moderate the temperature, clean the air, produce oxygen, and provide habitat for wildlife, and whereas trees are a renewable resource giving us paper, wood for our homes, fuel for our fires, and countless other wood products, and whereas trees in our city increase property values, enhance the economic vitality of business areas, and beautify our communities, and whereas trees are the source of joy and spiritual renewal, and whereas the Borough of Glen Ridge has been recognized as a Tree City USA for 20 years by the National Arbor Day Foundation and desires to continue its tree planting ways. Now, therefore, be it resolved that the Mayor and the Council of the Borough of Glen Ridge do hereby proclaim April 27th, 2018 as Arbor Day in the Borough of Glen Ridge, Essex County, New Jersey.
Thank you, Councilor Van Bloom. You have heard the resolution. May I hear a second?
I second this resolution.
Clerk, will you please call roll?
Yes. Councilor Smith,
Aye.
Councilor Link,
Aye.
Councilor Van Bloom, Councilor Moriarty,
Aye.
Councilor Landis,
Aye.
and Councilor Lance.
Aye.
6 ayes, 0 noes. This resolution is adopted.
Councilor Van Bloom, going on to your ordinance. Oh, yeah. No,
That concludes my report.
thank you, sorry. This is for Councilor Landis. Public Work. Mr. Moriarty, then there's no name here, sorry. Mrs. Moriarty, Public Works and Utility Committee, your ordinance number.
Thank you, Madam Mayor. I will be reading the DPW report.
Recurrent snowstorms have altered the normal April routine for Public Works. Last Monday, April 2nd, the road crew went out at 6 o'clock a.m. to salt the streets in the borough. They followed up with plowing as necessary throughout the morning. DPW has been out clearing storm debris and repairing damaged street signs, but the curbside pickup of storm debris has concluded. From now on, residents with branches to discard must cut them into 30-inch lengths and securely bundle them or put them in a garbage can. The parks crew has started the springtime cleanup at our parks and athletic facilities. They are working as quickly to get the field into playable condition for the spring sports program. Bids for our 2018 spring tree program are due April 12th. We anticipate having 99 new trees in the ground by May 31st. On the agenda tonight is an ordinance to join in the alliance to purchase renewable energy for Glen Ridge homes. The borough would officially sign on to the Sustainable Essex Alliance, which brings together environmental commissions and municipalities in Essex County for an energy aggregation program. Glen Ridge is one of 6 towns that have passed resolutions supporting the program, along with Maplewood, Milburn, Montclair, South Orange, and Verona. The towns hope to combine their purchasing power to produce cleaner, less expensive electrical power for their residents. The residents themselves will not experience any difference. PSE&G will continue to manage the grid, the meter reading and billing, and will keep on repairing any outages. This will be an important step in moving Essex County into a sustainable future and will help the towns in the Alliance pursue a sustainable Jersey Gold Star in energy.
Thank you, Councilor Moriarty.
Madam Mayor, I have ordinance number 1681 for first reading. An ordinance of the Borough of Glen Ridge, County of Essex, State of New Jersey, authorizing the establishment of a government energy aggregation program.
Do we have a second?
I second.
Call for any discussion amongst the members of the council. Seeing no further comments forthcoming, clerk, may I have the roll?
Councilor Smith,
Aye.
Councilor Link,
Aye.
Councilor Van Bloom,
Aye.
Councilor Moriarty,
Aye.
Councilor Landis,
Aye.
Councilor Lance,
Aye.
6 ayes, no nays. This ordinance is adopted.
Thank you, clerk. Read here. Ordinance number 1681 to the municipal clerk for the purpose of statutory publication and posting. Now, is that the end of your report? Yes. Okay. Councilor Landis with Parks and Recreation Committee report.
Yes, so the 2018 summer day camp registration for the 2018 summer season is now open. The camp is for Glen Ridge residents ages 5 to 12, and the season begins June 18th and runs through August 9th, and the day camp goes from 9 a.m. to 3 p.m. each day. Register can be done online with the community pass at glenridgenj.org/summerdaycamp. The registration for the 2018 Glen Ridge Community Pool season is now open. Again, you can online register to the pool with the community pass at glenridgenj.org/pool, and this year's season is going to run through Memorial Day through Labor Day. The preseason registration for the 2018 Freeman Tennis Courts season is now open. For the first time ever, we are going to be accepting online preseason registrations, which can be done, again, with the community pass at www.glenridgenj.org/freemantennis, and this year's season is going to run through early April to October. Brand new program at the Glen Ridge train station called the Glen Ridge Singer-Songwriter Series is going to showcase local musicians in a unique setting. The first installment of this Singer-Songwriter Series is going to occur on Saturday, March 31st. And for more information, you can call the Recreation Office at 973-748-2924. The Glen Ridge Recreation Department has recently developed a new Facebook page, which can be found at Glen Ridge Rec on Facebook. Be sure to go there for the latest announcements of the recreation group. And lastly, the Glen Ridge Recreation Department is very happy to announce that beginning this spring, we're going to be using the Ratio Smart Sprinkler Control System at Carter and Morale Fields. This groundbreaking wireless system includes leak detection, specific sprinkler zone control, and weather intelligence plus for customized irrigation and water conservation. This system is also going to make it easier to create custom schedules that automatically adjust for Glen Ridge weather, and we can monitor the system all from our smartphones and computers.
Thank you, Councilor Landis. You've heard the resolution. May I hear a second? Councilor Landis, your resolution.
Yes, this is Resolution 6918. Resolution of intent to work cooperatively for the planning and development of a shared use path within the Montclair Township, Belleville Township, Bloomfield Township, City of Newark, and Glen Ridge Borough. Whereas Montclair, Belleville, Bloomfield, Newark, and Glen Ridge are among the most densely populated municipal jurisdiction within the most densely populated state in the nation. And whereas on behalf of their residents, Montclair, Belleville, Bloomfield, Newark, and Glen Ridge have been engaged in the planning and evaluation of non-motorized interurban transportation alternatives and trail opportunities for community development, public health, and public recreational access. And whereas Montclair, Belleville, Bloomfield, Newark, and Glen Ridge are home to a 100-foot wide, 4.5-mile contiguous, and underutilized segment of former Erie Railroad, New York, and Greenwood Lake Railway. And whereas in 2002, New Jersey Transit Corporation terminated commuter passenger service, operational and maintenance responsibilities along said corridor. And whereas freight rail service provided by Norfolk Southern Corporation has been fully discontinued along portions of the corridor as evidenced by removal of tracks, ties, signal, and at-grade crossing equipment, the loss of shippers, and an increase of neglect and blight. And whereas the corridor forms a superior connection between and among communities to this agreement, and enhances the linkage of residential communities, commercial and business sites, and civic, institutional, and recreational lands and water. And whereas the September 11th National Memorial Trail Alliance is interested in having the 9/11 NM Trail co-align with the shared use path. Now therefore be it resolved that the Mayor and Council of the Borough of Glen Ridge hereby declare that it is their intention to work with Montclair, Belleville, Bloomfield, and Newark to pursue reuse of the corridor as a rail with trail facility to jointly accommodate freight shippers and non-motorized public access and recreational trail use, or a single-purpose rail-trail recreational facility. And be it further resolved that the Mayor and Council intend to work with Bloomfield, Belleville, Montclair, and Newark in the planning, design, grant writing, and activities necessary to advance corridor reuse. And be it further resolved that the Mayor and Council recognize the amount of work and planning such an undertaking involves, and such hereby agree to the formation of an interlocal rail trail planning committee whose official membership shall consist of one mayoral appointee from Belleville, Bloomfield, Newark, Glen Ridge, and Montclair. The committee shall meet regularly, keep records, develop a project work plan, host meetings and public events, work with stakeholders, and serve as a forum for coordinating municipal, county, state, federal, and regional agency activities. The committee shall not be authorized to enter into contracts, expend money, maintain a budget, approve expenditures, or incur any liability on behalf of the borough. The committee will be an adversary committee to plan and coordinate the undertaking with the Borough Council, maintaining responsibility to take any necessary action, expend any money, enter into any contract, or incur any liability. Be it further resolved, the Borough of Glen Ridge recognizes the participation of the municipalities of Montclair, Belleville, Bloomfield, and Newark is essential to the success of this committee, and the Borough encourages those municipalities to join in establishing the committee.
Thank you, Councilor Landis. You've heard the resolution now. May I hear a second?
I second.
Clerk, will you begin roll?
Councilor Smith,
Aye.
Councilor Link,
Aye.
Councilor Van Bloom,
Aye.
Councilor Moriarty,
Aye.
Councilor Landis,
Aye.
and Councilor Lance.
Aye.
6 ayes, 0 noes. This resolution is adopted.
Councilor Landis, does that conclude your report?
It does.
Councilor Lance, with Planning and Development Committee report.
Ms. Mayor, I'd like to briefly summarize and highlight the Planning and Development Annual Report for 2017. The report was prepared and distributed to the Mayor and Council by Mr. Zakelli, our Deputy Administrator, earlier this year. The report is available and can be reviewed in detail on the borough's website. The report summarizes statistics and includes activities reported for the year from departments and boards. including the Building Department, the Historic Preservation Commission, the Planning Board, and the Shade Tree Commission. I'd like to highlight a few items in the report for you this evening. The Building Department, which is responsible for ensuring compliance with both local and state law on construction projects, issuing permits, and performing final inspections, reported an increase in the total number of inspections conducted in 2017 to 2,218 inspections. The total value of construction projects that were overseen by the department also increased by $3 million over the number reported for 2016, for a total value of construction projects overseen by the department of $13,693,897. The Historic Preservation Commission reviews exterior changes to properties in the historic district, which now covers more than 90% of the borough. The HPC, which is the Historic Preservation Society, meets monthly and had a very busy year in 2017, hearing 90 cases or approximately 7.5 applications per meeting. Towards the end of 2017, the HPC brought on a preservation consultant to assist in reviewing applications, consulting with the board, and dealing directly with the community. The planning board also had a busy year, meeting 8 times during the year to consider among the matters that are under their review: an application for a subdivision, a redevelopment designation, and recommendation for a redevelopment plan for the Baldwin Street properties, and 3 appeals of HPC decisions. The Shade Tree Commission continued their important work on the Bureau to see that our trees are maintained, replanted, and monitored to ensure the beauty and biodiversity that the shade trees bring to Glen Ridge. In 2017, 197 trees were planted, 100 trees removed, and 145 trees pruned. The Shade Tree Commission prepared a separate report, which is also available on the Bureau's website. Again, if anyone would like to review the 2017 Planning and Development Report in full detail, it is available on the website. I would also like to remind everyone that the Planning Board of Montclair and Glen Ridge will be continuing in the joint review by these 2 boards on the Mountainside Office Building and parking redevelopment plans at a meeting to be held on Monday, April 23rd at 7:30 p.m. at the Montclair Fire Station on Pine Street. Consultants will be presenting on the revised redevelopment plans for the site. The public is welcome to attend and ask questions. Copies of the material presented are also available on the website and at the Bureau Hall.
Thank you, Councilor Lentz. I believe you have an ordinance as well.
Yes, I do. Ms. Mayor, I have ordinance number 1680 for final reading, an ordinance to amend Chapter 15.
Okay. Ms. Mayor, this is to state for the record that this ordinance has been published and posted in accordance with the statute.
I declare the meeting open for discussion of this ordinance and this ordinance only, this being the time and place for the public hearing. With no further comments, I declare this public hearing closed.
Ms. Mayor, I move that this ordinance be finally passed.
Is there anyone to second this?
I second.
You have heard the motion of Councilor Lance, seconded by Councilor Smith. Will the clerk please call roll?
Councilor Smith,
Aye.
Councilor Link,
Aye.
Councilor Van Bloom,
Aye.
Councilor Moriarty,
Aye.
Councilor Landis,
Aye.
and Councilor Lance.
Aye.
6 ayes, no noes. This ordinance is adopted.
Thank you, Clerk. Councilor Lance, does that conclude your report?
Yes.
We will now take the comments of Administrator and Department Heads.
Be a part of Clean Ocean Action's semi-annual statewide cleanup of our waterways. On Saturday, April 21st, the borough is conducting a Tony's Brook cleanup at 2 locations. We will meet either at Tony's Brook in Glenfield Park at the park entrance located at Woodland Avenue and Pearson Place, or the Glen at the gazebo near the intersection of Bloomfield and Ridgewood Avenues. We will work in teams of 2 or 3 to clean up the brook and document the types of debris found. This information will be put into a national database to help identify and eliminate the sources of water pollution. The event will be held in rain or shine. For more information, visit www.cleanoceanaction.org and click on Beach Sweeps. Cleanup is sponsored by Clean Ocean Action and Glen Ridge Environmental Advisory Committee. That concludes my report.
Thank you. Now moving on to the department heads. Our Chief of Police.
Thank you. The first matter that I'm going to discuss concerns male fishing. During the past several weeks, municipalities across North Jersey have been experiencing an increase in male fishing. During this process, actors utilize homemade tools to remove mail from United States Postal Service collection boxes on the street. Once the envelopes have been taken from the mailbox, they are sorted and all checks are fraudulently deposited into a third party's account. Funds will be, in many cases, withdrawn from the check issuer's account. According to the USPS, Glen Ridge collection boxes that are believed to have been compromised include the blue boxes at the following intersections: Ridgewood Avenue and Glen Ridge Parkway, Bay Avenue and Sherman Avenue, and Ridgewood Avenue and Baldwin Street. If you believe that your mail has been compromised, please contact the Glen Ridge Police Department at 973-748-5400. Below are safety tips that can aid in the prevention of mail theft and associated check fraud. Number 1, go directly into the post office and hand your mail over to a USPS employee. This is the single most effective way to prevent your mail from being compromised. Number 2, if dropping your mail off inside of the post office is not possible, attempt to locate a newer style collection box with additional security features. We have them right outside of the Glen Ridge Post Office. Number 3, review the pickup schedule for your preferred blue box. Do not deposit anything into the mailbox after the last posted pickup. Pickup information is posted on each collection box. Number 4, avoid mailing anything over a holiday weekend or any federally recognized holidays. The longer your mail sits in a blue box, the longer it is susceptible to being compromised. Number 5, if possible, do not place anything in the mailbox on Fridays unless you are handing it over to a USPS employee inside of the post office. Thieves know that many people get paid on Fridays, and as a result, the mailbox may see an increase in checks on those days. Thieves will target mailboxes on Friday for this reason. Number 6, never put cash or money orders into a collection box. If intercepted, these items are almost impossible to track, and apprehension or recovery is unlikely. Number 7, if you see any suspicious activity around a blue box, immediately call the Glen Ridge Police Department. If time permits, note the license plate of any vehicles present during the suspicious activity and relay that information to the police dispatcher. If you have any further questions regarding mail phishing, please contact the U.S. Postal Inspector's Office at 1-877-876-2455.
Madam Mayor, tonight I have 2 announcements for you. Star announcement number 1. We are very excited to be offering the Star Self-Defense course offered by Public Safety Institute. In conjunction with officers from the police department, this class is specifically designed for women and is free to all residents. Registration forms and details for registration can be found on the forms on the borough's webpage in the What's New section. The class is expected to fill up quickly and space is limited. Star announcement number 2. Due to the outstanding turnout, the upcoming Star Self-Defense Tactical Awareness and Recognition course is now at capacity with restraints. We are still accepting applications for a waitlist for the program. Please continue to forward registrations to Captain Glen should you wish to be added to the waitlist. If a spot opens up, you will be contacted regarding the vacancy. That's all. Thank you.
Thank you, Chiefs. Now on to the town attorney.
The role of the Glen Ridge attorney is to assist the borough in legal matters. The attorney's job includes reviewing ordinances before they are passed by the borough to make sure that they comply with the law and reviewing contracts before the borough enters them to make sure that the rights of the borough are protected. The attorney's job also includes representing the borough in lawsuits, to enforce the borough's rights, and defending the borough in lawsuits when someone starts a legal action against it. Because a great deal of what the attorney does involves confidential matters, oftentimes the borough attorney has little to say in a public session. The borough attorney is appointed by the mayor, but the appointment must be approved by the council. The attorney serves a one-year term and must be appointed from year to year.
Thank you, Attorney. Now on to Counselor Morrow.
So first of all, I just want to thank the students for being here this evening, for doing such an excellent job in representing us, and for taking care of the business of governing our borough. So you've done a great job, and I hope that you continue to stay involved in local and national and whatever issues that interest you, because you've done a great job tonight. So I thank you. And in order to affirm your actions here tonight, Ms. and Mr. Mayor, I offer Resolution 70-18. Be it resolved that the mayor and the borough council hereby affirm the actions of the Glen Ridge Student Council with respect to all of the agenda items covered here tonight.
Clerk, will you please call roll?
Counselor Smith.
Counselor Hughes? Aye. Counselor Sovich? Aye. Counselor Mann?
Aye.
Counselor Lefkowitz? Aye. Counselor Morrow?
Aye.
5 ayes, no nays, 1 absentee. Resolution is approved.
Okay. That was quick. Much quicker than we did it. Now, do I announce that? The new and unfinished business? Okay. Is there any new and unfinished business?
No, Mr. Mayor. Ms. Mayor.
Thank you, Clerk. Are there any final comments from the public?
Debbie Manns, Appleton Place. I'm very concerned about civic engagement in town, and I just would like to know what you are planning to do to continue this activity with our younger generation and including students.
If I may.
Yeah, that's a question for all of you.
What civic activity?
Well, just getting engaged in town government, voting. Are you planning any voter registration drives? What's going on?
As far as activity in our town government, I would use
about the youth, man.
I would use today as an example.
So
what else can you guys be doing?
So I think one of our big roles is we satisfy the students' needs within our school, but we also are wanting to, I guess all of us I can say for you guys probably, you guys can correct me if I'm wrong, we're wanting to expand more of our political activism in this case. I know some of us participated in the walkout and demonstrating our rights as U.S. citizens, or sat and protested inside, which is completely fine, but I think being able to participate in the civic process or the democratic process granted to us by our government is a big thing that we all take to heart. And I think if there's anything you guys want to add on to that, you guys can.
In addition, especially as we're all coming of age where we are able to vote, we are so happy to do that. I think we will be encouraging each other to vote, and I think a voter drive or something like that would actually be a great idea that we could definitely be looking into within the school to encourage more voters and more people to get involved in the government.
You guys have been quiet over here.
Yeah.
The ladies, anyone over there? Gentlemen,
yeah. Politics is certainly a very heavily talked about topic within our school, not just amongst student life, but also within course curriculum, especially within English and history courses. So I think that also a big part of getting youth involved is correctly teaching them what's going on in the news and just kind of what's going on in the political field in general. So just being sure that, of course, clubs are taking action like the Student Council to do activities like this, but also just teaching it to everybody who may not be a part of Student Council or other clubs in the school that wish to evoke political action.
And I think one big thing that we as a school capitalize on is the engagement between both parties, all parties. It doesn't really matter what side you're on as long as you're getting politically active and going out and voting or trying to change something that you see as wrong in our government, whether it be on the borough level, state level, national level, anything we can really try to do to help aid the cause that we're trying to fight for in this case. So,
And also being sure that you're being respectful of both sides, no matter
yeah.
what beliefs are, even if they don't.
I think that's something that's lost in politics today is respect sometimes. So,
I think a lot of students at our school are also still finding their own political voice instead of just listening to what their parents say. So that is also interesting, as with everything that's going on right now, and like with all the marches, like the March for Our Lives and the women's marches that happened last year. I think everyone's trying to find their own political voice, which is really interesting.
Well, thanks.
Yeah. And also one of our teachers that is with us today, Ms. Ramos, is teaching a criminal law class in our school, which I know a lot of my friends are interested in, and that'll just help to keep the political activism alive in our school.
Yeah, I think criminal law is a great thing to get into if you want to get into politics. So, thanks everyone.
thank you.
Question.
Thank you for your question. Mr. Mayor Patrick.
Thank you. On behalf of the council, we would like to take a moment to thank the students' advisors, Emily Ramos and Alyssa Angelo, for making these extremely bright, versatile students available to us. I truly hope that they have enjoyed their day, that they have hopefully have seeds planted to, in the future, seek out volunteerism in their communities and hopefully public office as well. So again, guys, you did a great job, and we really appreciate your being here this evening.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you. With that being said, are there any final comments from the public? Seeing none, Councilman Landis, do you have a motion?
Motion to adjourn this meeting.
All in favor?
Aye.
Okay. This motion has been adjourned. Been adjourned. I want to hear about your,
Kind of complicated, by the way. Both my parents have voted Democrat.
Thank you, great job.